For nearly 50 years, Northside Beach was a summer destination in the city of Zanesville. Families returned year after year for the water slides, laughter with friends, and the easy familiarity of place, so common in rural Ohio. Andy Lang spent much of his life at Northside Beach, first as a lifeguard and later as one of the park's owners who helped make Northside Beach a place where community came together. The beach is now long gone, but today those connections remain for Andy, no longer at the water's edge, but on the road. As Andy has gotten older, his journey has changed, and getting where he needs to go has become more complicated.
Well, when I got my pulmonary fibrosis, and it got worse, it was very difficult to get in the car, and I had to take the hose off, put my tank in the back seat, throw the hose over, get back in the front, and by that time I was exhausted and out of breath. So that's when I started calling seat and public transit.
Some of the same people who once gathered at Northside Beach now help Andy get to his appointments. In rural Ohio, care adapts, and Andy is one of many in this region of the state supported by a collaborative transportation network known as Mobility Ohio.
I mean, they pull right up to your door. They would help me with any of my equipment. They would take me to my chiropractor appointments and the physical therapy and different things. And it was fantastic.
The state of Ohio has long invested in community and human service transportation, born out of a blue-collar past where work, family, and community were tightly connected, and access was never something people could afford to lose. But without coordination, even good intentions could leave gaps. Across this 4-county area in southeast Ohio, the Mobility Ohio project was built to help change that.
The project basically grouped together mobility management and public transit and the combination of direct rides and case management. So the coordination came about of a technology-driven coordination that allows for public transit to work together.
With support from the Federal Transit Administration's Innovative Coordinated Access and Mobility Grant, Mobility Ohio created shared tools and regional coordination to help people find transportation that fits their lives. But as the counties began collaborating on transportation, they quickly realized there were needs that the transportation agencies alone couldn't address.
So what we were finding is we would get to passengers' houses and the passengers would have other needs and things that we couldn't meet with just local public transit. So for example, we might show up to someone's house to get them and they don't have a wheelchair or they don't have a wheelchair ramp. One of the big ones was out-of-county transportation. So the local public transit could do the out-of-county transportation, but the funds that it cost to get there were smaller, getting smaller, and people didn't have the money to pay.
And will you be taking any mobility devices with you when you ride with us? A cane, walker?
Building on the CCAM grants funding initiative and working together, transportation providers and community partners expanded what transportation and access to resources could look like, taking the time to listen, adapting to real needs, and turning coordination into care.
Just like everybody, our clients, they all come with a story prior to us putting them in the van, in the seat of the bus, and I think we wouldn't be in these jobs without the empathy that we have, our staff has, to be able to help them with that story and connect them with the resources that they really need.
We have so many of those people who they don't have a vehicle, they don't have the means. Maybe they do have a vehicle, but they don't drive, they don't like to drive into the big cities. They're comfortable driving in town, but they can't get to the big cities. And so that's why it's so important, all of that collaboration in Mobility Ohio, that we get those people to their jobs and to the grocery store and to their medical appointments.
And mobility is not just transportation with wheels, it's transportation for ramps, it's transportation. We found wheelchairs for individuals, we found walkers for individuals. Actually, we have quite a few that we have had people donate to us for that. So it's not just about the wheels turning around on the vehicles, it's mobility across the board for everybody.
So at Job and Family Services, one of our goals is to help be part of the solution in the community. Sometimes barriers come along in life that are difficult to overcome, and that's really where Mobility Ohio has come into play. We've had several examples where our folks were utilizing an older, unreliable vehicle for their employment or other services that they needed to attend, and all of a sudden that vehicle breaks down. Mobility Ohio has really been a key to help us help those folks to get to where they need to be so that they can be successful.
A lot of times our patients will have same-day appointments and they can't arrive, and then when that happens, then the network for their healthcare really breaks down. So if they miss an appointment today, then it might be 30 or 60 days before they can be treated for an outcome that could have been intervened with the same day. So our partnership with Mobility Ohio allows us to really offer transportation services to our patients that don't have access to care through transportation failures.
The caring professionals behind Mobility Ohio are showing what collaboration can make possible, just as the CCAM grant was designed to support. By working across agencies and communities, they have transformed coordination into real care, meeting people where they are and helping them move forward with dignity and confidence. A reminder that the same spirit that once brought people together in Zanesville, Ohio at Northside Beach still carries forward. Along these roads we share.